and an observation at the same time. Okay, I watched the videos the other day, and I saw Kelsey advertising the books in hardback, paperback. I thought that was very cool, very good, very good marketing, and it should be good for the new presentation. It's good for it to go out there for many more people to get these books, even those who are not yet into the new presentation. Then I had this idea. And it stems from the fact that maybe we don't have enough of an audience to do this advertisement to. And I thought about growing our risk taker base. I will not say membership base, because that word is a word Duane doesn't like to hear. So I thought of growing our risk taker base. And to grow this risk taker base means we should reach out there to talk to more people and let them know about the new presentation, why it's there. It's all there for them. And I realized that it is only from this base that we create that people will buy the books for the most part. And I remembered while I was in the corporation, I used to maybe let's say supervise the selling of Harold's books, and I collected the money and I forwarded it, which means the centers had some of these books, so people could even take them on credit and they pay instrumentally or piecemeal. And even at public functions, public occasions, we had these books on display, maybe during intro talks or like worship services or all that, where people are invited to come and listen to something new, something different from what they have known. And this is the way the books were sold, you see. So, and I want to think that keeping all very stringent thoughts aside, this is what we should be doing too. I commend what Kelsey is doing. Is in fact, she's doing the right thing with those books and advertising them. But I want to think that for the moment, she's just talking to ourselves here on the forum. And we need to get this material out there. We need to grow our user base. And I think the focus should be on this outreach mission. And I was just thinking whether it's not time, especially, I don't know what obtains in the US there and in Europe with Vesna and the rest, but if we had some public occasions, public functions where people are invited for maybe a talk, and then these books are displayed there for them to see, or they are online. They are online, yes, but this online world is it's a virtual world. It's a virtual world, and we want to bring things, bring things into the open, into the real world. So I was thinking that maybe some of these books should be made available to in various parts of the world. They are there. They serve as an advertisement to intensify this public meetings. Yeah, because I think even in the Congo, those kind of public meetings are yet to be held. In Nigeria, I think it's the same thing. Nothing like there's not been anything like an intro talk, a public talk where people are invitations are given out. People come to listen, and at those functions, at those occasions, they see the books displayed, and they become curious and to know what is in the books. People will buy, certainly will buy. And in that regard, I think these books, if they are made available in other parts of the world, people will come for them during some of these public events that we create. So I don't know whether I'm talking any sense, or I just wanted to sound this opinion. So what do you think, Duane? And I wanted to think again that I don't know. It's funny to hear, but I just thought that Duane has done a lot of writing out here, and provided a lot of information, a lot of true knowledge. But then again, this knowledge is given out free. We have the free PDF formats, book formats, and that's given out on the internet for free. And other things, and other goodies that are there just for free. And then we need to sell these books again. So what I doubt is whether people will buy if they've already got free PDF copies. So are we not ourselves scuttling the sale of the No Man's books? I know Duane would prefer everything to be free, but then I want to think otherwise. Because they say a goat eats where it is tethered, and we are in this world. We're in this world to survive. I remember in Stranger by the River, Representative says, let me go back again a little back. Let your roots go down into this earth, suck from it, feed from it, but let your head tower into the spiritual heavens, or dwell in the real universes, while your roots, your feet are firmly on the ground, which means you should be balanced. You should be balanced and realize that you are in this world and cope with the challenges and the survival dynamics here. But I want to think that Duane to dwell only in the real universes and It's not. It's not concerned about what is happening here. It will rather give everything out free, which is, to me, is I don't want to say realistic, but it seems so. And so I want to think that what Kelsey is doing, if it is built upon, if we just leave, we just shift Duane to the corner and do a program for this to reach out there, to get these books out, change maybe these freebies that are given, and they scuttle the effort to sell these books to the public. I think if we do that, we might be on the track to help, not only helping the new presentation get out there, but we'll be helping the new man effectively have his roots into this world while his head is in the real universes. So I don't know what Duane thinks about this.
Well, again, Charles, everything you said, we're already doing it. First of all, not everything is free, but that's not the idea. See, there's a bigger picture here than just marketing the world, all right? This is the business world, and the business world is one-dimensional. That's as far as it goes. It doesn't even go into the astral worlds, except for those dimensions that parallel and apply. And so, no, actually nothing is free. None of it is free. It only appears to be free. You know, Bill Gates gave all his stuff away as an example, okay? I'm not saying it's a good example. I'll just use that. He gave away all his stuff for free, and people wondered, what are you doing? Well, because he saw a bigger picture. There's a much, much bigger picture. Again, are you taking a look at it? You know, you just look to the real side instead of looking at just one-dimensional marketing. And also the idea besides membership, no, I've come through the membership. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I see it as very restrictive for the individuals that are members. That's how I see it. It's not about like or dislike. So I'm not into like or dislike. I'm into making sense of things. And I see more so that because of the natural environment that we're all in, that becoming a sponsor or a community sponsor to step up and have the courage to do that makes more sense than being a numbie or a dumbed down member where they just they just wait for orders from the leader or whatever, the master. Yeah, I don't see people like that. I see them as all, we're all equal. We're all free beings of real light already, and it's just a matter of getting them to that point. And actually, the books, yes, they are. It's an individual affair, like you've done the books for Africa, some of the books, and Miriam, and Kelsey, and all of us have done certain things. I have too in the past. I did all this stuff. I went out there, okay? Yes. It's easier right now to get the information out to reach a lot more people, and if it's to be given away free, that's fine, because this is just the first step. There's a much, much bigger picture that's coming in, that's already here. All right, it's already done on the real side. Bringing it in here is rather a toughie, simply because of the resistance of the controllers of this world, this realm, and in creation. That's all. It's toughie for the boys too. They have to be very clever and very creative to bring something, because again, the awareness is sparked in the adventure of life is through the confrontation. And this is where the systems that are religious, spiritual, and all these other things, meditation, are passive. Okay? They don't work anymore. They don't work, period. For people that want to stay where they are and be basically, and stay unconscious, thinking that they're spiritual, again, fine, have fun with it. Everybody can do whatever. But the aspect of things are free, no, they're not free. And when people think that they are, Well, they're just fooling themselves. They really are. So when we hand out the PDFs and whatever, no, it's just like the government handing out grants. Those grants aren't free. No, they're not free at all. Everything equals itself. Okay, the old saying was paid for in the true coin. Well, it's not about money. It's about everything equals itself. So yes, you've got the material, but the reality is that you are not going to succeed until you step up and do something real. So what I see just by giving out to somebody, but we do have the website, and I suggest people purchase them just to contribute. That's one way. But then there's people that have contributed a lot more because of that also. And so again, until the individual wakes up, life cannot equal itself with us until we decide to step forward. So people that are thinking that, oh, I'm getting this free. No, you're not. There is a reality that comes with it. And if you decide to step up and stand real with that reality, well, it will provide as you decide to be the risk taker. So no, everything is compensated for, Charles. And so again, if we just look at it one-dimensionally and personally, it appears to be so. But there's really a much bigger picture going on here. And it, little by little, is availing itself, but at the same time, it's a toughie in this world because we need agreement. This is the one thing that life is. In other words, we each have free will. And we have free will to resist, even though we think we're not resisting. And this is where, again, here's part two, taking things for granted. Most people, even when those that are doing the new you, take the real guides and the all is for granted. They really, really do. Because they're still beggars from the old paths. They want things to happen in their life, not realizing that they must step up and figure it out for themselves. The guides are only guides. They provide guidance. We get people, Ava and I, it's like, oh, I want a new job, and can you help me do this, and can you change my life, and whatever. No, we don't do that. All right, we don't change diapers and whatever. We don't do these things. All right, you do it. You have the knowledge to wake up, and this is where, again, where people bring in ideas. We're passed out images from other people. If it's some old master sitting in a lotus position or whatever, thinking, "Oh, this is how it is," and I focus on this and whatever. Well, that's great, but really, it's about what you step up and do and prove. It's not all these ideas that you carry with yourself. So, for the most part, most people take the guidance and whatever for granted, and so that's not going to work either. It's time to get real. It's time to step up and make sense of things because the world's dying. Every moment, it's dying. People are dying. The environment's dying. Animals are dying, etc. Every single moment. Yet people are still chasing their la-la land, thinking that all they have to do is a little new you, ask the guides for guidance, and ask them for whatever, and it's all, oh, gee, this is happening. No, there's a bigger picture. Are you seeing it? There's a much bigger picture. And so again, dragging all this old stuff into the present doesn't work. None of it works anymore. It's only shining like the sun and being real. 100% standing real. No foo-foo stuff, no cute little ideas. They don't work. It's being real and doing something. So the idea is being a community sponsor. And no, again, none of this stuff is free, Charles. And actually, everybody's basically doing what they can, or they're not doing it. It's not about you might say a group effort. It's an individual affair. So myself, all the years even in the corporation, I held classes, all right, at the time. Now they're new groups, but they were classes. And this is where the CL asses are still at, because those are the classes that are still had, because they're the old way and they want to sit on their rears. So that's what they are. They are classes. Yes, but we have the new groups because, we are creating the activity. There is a difference there, and it's very real. And we're bothering the world because the world is bothering us. But I always did it individually. In other words, I did try to get the classes involved, but for the most part, they were resistant, And so I just did it myself. I did everything myself. spent all the money, did the things, set up the fairs, went did the lectures, etc. I did it all myself. So whatever you want to do is fine. But with what we're doing now, all the funny little things, it will all come to be a particular way according to a bigger view that's coming in. And so, many people just sit and wait. They really don't do anything. They do funny little things, and then they sit and wait. We are, I would say, just the social media of Facebook, and people have their attitudes about Facebook. It's not about having an attitude with Facebook. That's not the idea. Yeah, it's ruled by the cabal, but at the same time, it's an advantage to take advantage of, just to share what we're doing, because the world needs to see it a whole lot of times. How do you make a movie star a star? Okay, there's no such thing. What they do is they keep putting their face out there and all these ideas about them until everybody accepts them. Oh, they're a star. Well, it's all fake. And the thing being is that, but that's okay. And this is the same thing we're doing, is putting this out there. And actually, we're doing very, very well according to the agreement level that we're dealing with, which is mostly resistance. So each person individually, they decide what they do. There's no command center. It's just simply presenting this. But at the same time, there's a few of us that are working on the bigger picture and paying attention to that. And again, it will be just demonstrated on the real side, but you can see it here by just simply learning to see it. You learn to see it, not so much figure it out with your mind, but you learn to see it. And it already is, but then again, it's up to you to decide, what will you do? What will you do? You see, it's all up to you. It's not up to anybody else. It's not what we are doing, Charles, is what you are doing individually. And so every moment you decide what you are doing, we are deciding what we are doing, and we come together on this to see a bigger picture. But then again, we do not have a business plan. There is no business plan here. There's only the adventure. It's like Robin Hood, okay? There's no business plan. The cabal, the One World Order, they have a business plan, and that is to get rid of everybody and everything. That's their fun time. This is what they're doing. And we don't have a plan. There's a bigger view, and that is to wake up with the all is. And, but that's choice. That's a toughie. But keep in mind this aspect, and I suggest you share this, about taking the real guides for granted. The idea of begging them for things and asking them this and that. What's the idea of pray for purity? That's really all you need to do. That sums it up. Pray for purity and do something that makes sense with your life. Not just hang around and wonder what to do and ask the guides what to do. Look at your environment. Everybody came through their environment here a particular way so that they could wake up. The more the struggle, the more possible you have to wake up. That's how it is. But most people compare their personal life with what else is going on in the world. Oh, that guy over there drives a Bentley, and he has a castle, and he has this and that. Well, yeah, it's personal comparison. Well, this is in the created world. If you want to play that game, go for it. You can do it too. Anybody can be a Donald Trump. Anybody can do that. The business world is easy. What is hard is being real and recognizing your real intent and doing something real. So instead of membership, we have sponsors or community sponsors, because we're creating a universal community just for those individuals, not for everybody, just for those individuals where their intent is 100% focused, and they prove it by doing it on this planet. And it is happening. And so that's just one part of it, but there's always a bigger picture. There's so much more going on that I don't even tell the world, because they already, so much of the world thinks we're nuts or we're weird or we're a cult or whatever. Hey, that's fine. I don't care about that. That's all silly stuff. But if we do too much, okay, if I let them know too much, then they're really scared. Okay, then they're really scared, because the whole world is scared already anyhow. And that's been going on for eons. So again, like the sun shining, just, bring it into the now, make sense of what you're doing right now. Again, I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm only doing what I do, and everybody else does what they do. And just like Kelsey, she decided to make the books, do the hardcovers. That's something she decided to do. I didn't ask her to do that. Some things I asked if she'll do it, make a little website or something. But that's something she decided on her own. And what she does with it, that's up to her. Now, anybody can do anything. Okay, it's carte blanche. Just do whatever that makes sense with what we're doing. And if it's giving it away free, well, again, there's a bigger picture, because eventually all that free stuff out there, like Chris has done and others have put it out there, okay, eventually it's going to come around, especially to the projects. See, and this is where, when the projects get going, and I know it's a toughie, it's way overdue, actually, it really is. It should have been done yesterday, but again, there's huge resistance here and very little agreement, because it's all on the real side and ready to come through like anything, just like a document on your printer, but you need the ink, don't you, to print it out for it to become a physical reality. Yeah, we need the ink. And what is ink? The funding. So again, the bigger funding. But it's coming. I have agreement, but again, I have to deal with all that. I have to deal with a whole lot. So, yeah, the part about giving it for free, no, it's not. We appreciate it. And actually, when people really wake up to see the value, then they will give freely to support. And it's not about the money. No, money is just a thing. With Joni, it's about the money. Okay. And so again, yeah, she would never think of doing this. Oh, she'll give a couple this or that out there, but no, it's to look like a proper business. Well, I don't see us as a proper business. We're just very real, and that's how I see us. And we just do what we do. And so, the meantime, for the most part, what is being presented, what I'm writing and saying, the world just doesn't get it, because the world is so confused with themselves. You can't unconfuse them. They must decide to do that. So in the meantime, yes, what we have is available, however it is, if they want to pay for it or get it, whatever. I'd rather just get the information out there, because people only have so much time. And it takes a long time to wake up to even recognizing the is a little bit. It's where it's taken lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And look at all the so-called spiritual, intellectual, or whatever people of the world, the genius and whatever. They don't recognize it. They're not even close. Not even close to recognize it. And they read what I've written. They don't get it. You see? So again, even giving it to them, they still don't get it. Even when these people speak English, etc. I'm amazed that, look at the people that are here like Vesna and others that don't speak English, and they get it more than the people that do. So again, the world has confused itself, and it has agreed to it. So in the meantime, we're going to be doing what we're doing, but it's on an individual affair, Charles. So you, like you've done, it's wonderful, and you've brought it to Eboke and the others in Africa, and I want to do a lot more things like that too, but I'm very realistic at the same time. I have to deal with the world just like you do. And so, but there is a bigger picture, but to get it in here, that's a toughie. It's a toughie, like bringing the camel through the head of a needle, It's a toughie, but it can be done. But again, it's really the support of the individuals that step up realistically and do something. And the biggest thing is just to market. The marketing part, I don't like to call it marketing, but realistically, it's just sharing. Sharing what we have, getting on Facebook, having the courage to confront the world. And most people don't have that courage. They're so afraid. They're so afraid of what others think. So until you confront the world and confront everything in yourself, how can you succeed with becoming more aware? So all you have to do is simply share what Ava and I are making. We share these things all the time, but most people don't have the time, or they don't want to do it. They're doing their funny things. They don't want to confront the world because they're afraid. So there's so many factors involved, Charles. So it really breaks down to what you decide to do for yourself that implements outward to this world. And so this is what each one of us are doing. And eventually we meet realistically in a real position because we stand real with each other just like the boys do. So I could just, again, I could go on and on because there's so much to it. So again, we want to keep it a little bit tame here, just make sense of things, and whether you sell it or if it's free or whatever. We've talked about this for years. And so to get it implemented, it's a lot. To get the agreement, yes, it's a whole lot. Okay, somebody's calling.
It looks maybe it's cloudy, or I don't know.
Anyhow, so
I don't know, somebody in the group.
So I just clicked it off. So everything is fine. Actually, we're doing very well because you might say, we're doing what we're allowed to do because of free will. And the world is continually putting on restrictions. This is what most people don't see. Most people think, oh, I've got time to do this or that or whatever. No, you don't. It's all done. Everything is all done. Okay, just like what we have is done, and the world itself, it's already gone. All right, so you don't have time. You're only thinking that you do. That's an illusion. It's all an illusion here of appearances. And for those that don't recognize the is, well, they are going to be where they've decided to be consciously and unconsciously. That's how real it gets. There's no magic bullet here. And the boys cannot just pull you somewhere thinking that, oh, again, this is where people take the guides for granted. They're not going to live your life. They're not going to just yank you into the real universes. There's no such thing as that. And just like in the corporation where people have these initiations, they don't mean anything because they don't have the awareness. And I could give many examples, and some of the people we've dealt with here recently, thinking that, okay, I'll just leave here and I'll go to the real side. Well, you do go to the real side, but it's not to where you think it is because you haven't recognized the isness. And it is here that you'll do it, not on the real side, because there you're going to be the same. You're going to have the same view. So it is here that you recommend doing it. And so, I suggest you step up, do something real, because you need the confrontation to ignite your awareness to wake up. You need that confrontation. And the passive paths that have been created do not work. They were the babysitting stages that we went through. And so to really wake up, you need the confrontation of everything. And you decide how creative you're going to be with that. So, Charles, everything is fine. And again, nothing is free. It only appears to be. It leads to a bigger picture also that is a benefit for everybody. That is the intent here. That's my intent. But in the meantime, I've got to be very creative with it, and it does appear to be a particular way. But realistically, no, there's a whole lot more to it. And that's why we have these discussions, to figure this out. But it's stepping forward. And Miriam, again, is a great example. She just stepped up and she did it. Didn't magically come together for her. She stepped up and she put all that together. That's how it's done. I would say she's one of the best examples there is. Yes, go ahead.